the best known church show, where we show you how to 10x your reach with church marketing that will help you increase your impact, make more disciples, and become the cornerstone of your community again. This is for the leaders with an outrageous vision, because anything less would be an inaccurate reflection of our Creator. The ones who have unreasonable faith, because you know God works unreasonable miracles. And the ones who are relentless in the pursuit of your calling, because anything less would not make a good and faithful servant. If that's you, you're in the right place. Now, please welcome your host and guide on this journey to become the best known organization in your community, Justin Nava.
Welcome to the best known church show. I am your host, Justin Nava, and I thank you for watching this, because if we haven't met before, you're listening to a total stranger, but this total stranger, we're going to get to know each other better, because I'm going to share with you how we get more people showing up to Christmas events utilizing a framework that we've repeated and duplicated in several churches across the country. It has to tie into what we talked about last week. So you can watch today's episode, but if you have not completed last week's show, episode 89, I highly encourage you to watch that, because we're going to really be bouncing off of that idea. Look, I believe that we have one of the most important messages. The Christmas story is one of the most important messages this Christmas. And we as churches, we as church leaders need to do whatever it takes to make sure that people not only plan to show up, but actually show up. So in this video, in this episode, I'm going to share with you the 5-step framework that we use to get more people who RSVP for Christmas events to show up to the event. And we do that using what's called, some people call it a drip sequence, some people call it a follow-up sequence, some people call it a nourishment sequence. I don't know. There's lots of different names for it. We just call it a guest journey. It really is walking people through your discipleship journey, walking people up to your discipleship journey, and utilizing what I'm going to share with you today. We've actually had people show up first time at church. They already knew someone's name. There wasn't any, "Are you new here? I've never seen you before." It was, boom, there's John. I'm going to meet John over by the office. John, oh, good to see you. Blah, blah. Because the conversations have started ahead of time. So I'm going to share with you what that looks like. And quick recap, if you haven't already, kind of a spur of the moment thing. The last month, this is the 4th episode of a series about planning your Christmas events and promoting your Christmas events. More likely promoting. We're not really talking about planning, but promoting. It starts with the overall strategy, the guest journey, we call it. Then we went into the Facebook ad that you can run for $5 a day to get people's attention and get them to sign up, like RSVP. Yes, save me a gift, save me a seat. Give me a front row parking, whatever you want to do to encourage people to sign up, RSVP. And then a website, how to build a web page on your website that highlights what Christmas is about and inspires people to be like, yes, I want to go. If they haven't already, to RSVP. When you give someone a mailer, an invite card, you put the website on your fancy digital sign outside. You don't want to just throw people on a web page. You want them to take an action. You want them to take a next step. In the same way, you don't want people just to show up, sit down in church and leave. You want them to take the next step on the discipleship journey. We're almost on a pre-discipleship journey, what we call a guest journey, to get people to take those next steps to engage with you. So after they've RSVP'd, either through the Facebook ad or through the website, you now have their contact info. So number one, you can make sure you have the gift ready for them. One of the things we talked about as well is having a kid's gift. So like, hey, RSVP your family. We'll have the gift for you and the kids. I think having something for the kids is great. A church we visited a couple times now gives candy to the kids. Like as you're walking out, bro has a basket of candy and he hands it out to the kids coming and going. So I think that's great. I think if you want to be a little bit more intentional too, like we talked about a waffle little package thing, you put some pancake mix in there. It's like, hey, we love families. We want you to have a family breakfast on us. You know, there's a couple ideas out there. Maybe it's just a craft that the kids can do. And then maybe it's like a Christmas devotional or, a book that you can read with your family. Not a huge fan of books, but that's just something there. Maybe a hot chocolate kit. I think that's really, really fun too. Anyways, whatever it is, for special guests, you want them to RSVP so that you can know they're coming. They can secure a gift. So you can make sure that you have a gift for them, but also you now have their contact info. You can follow up with them and nurture them to show up. Because just because someone just because someone plans to go somewhere, I think you and I both know that doesn't mean they're going to show up. Things can happen. Life gets in the way. Ferris Bueller, right? Life moves pretty fast. And so, good intentions can end up fizzling out. But what I'm going to share with you today is just some of the messages and emails that we send that keep people engaged, keep people excited, and get them actually showing up. One church that we worked with for one event got maybe 200 signups and 30 people showed up. Very, very sad. And the next year we worked with them to not only increase the signups, but also get people coming in. And what we saw was for every 200 people that signed up, we actually got just over 100 people coming. So three times people actually showing up just by staying in front of them, staying in front, top of mind. When I tell my daughter a list of chores, I got to stay on top of her. I got to remind her because she'll finish a chore and just move on to free time or take a 15-minute break that turns into an hour break. That's something we're working on. But being front of mind, being constantly there, reminding people is very important. And one of the reasons why the church has been relegated to the sidelines of culture is because we've gotten uncomfortable with staying connected with people. And some people hear me say that and say, Justin, what are you talking about? All we want to do is connect with people. Yeah, I get that, but connect in our own way, right? A lot of people, when say we want to connect with people, what they really mean is we want people to come to us on Sunday morning. Well, guess what? If they RSVP, you have their contact info. Now you can go to them. All right. So I'm not asking you to go knock on someone's door on a Tuesday night. I'm not asking you to do anything crazy like that. I'm asking you, when they voluntarily give you their information, to use that information to follow up and nurture and provide them some value to their life. So I'm going to show you the emails that we send, and these are by no means definitive, so to speak. Because you're going to have to do what works for your church and do what you have resource for your church. But I want to make sure that you don't just promote something and then just wait for things to happen. The reason why, like I said, we've kind of declined a little bit in our presence in your community is because we're just sitting there waiting for things to happen. We're using old methods in a new environment. So we just have to update. And we can't just wait for people or hope that people will remember their commitment. We want to make it easy. One of the things you may have noticed is when you go to a training workshop or something, they have you sign up for it and you get email reminders. You might also get a button that says add to calendar. And I know you get that with me when you book a call with me, you get a calendar appointment or a button. If I don't automatically put it on your calendar, you get a button that says add to my calendar, and you can do that. That way it helps you remind you. That's something very simple that you can do to help people remember, put it on their family calendars, put it on their phone calendars, reminders, and such. So you don't want to just have hope, right? We have our hope in Jesus, not in that people are actually going to show up to the thing they RSVP'd for. I think one of the worst things that can happen for your volunteer morality, what's the morale? Just morale, is that they get really excited because so many people signed up and then so few show up. I was even at an event where several dozen people signed up to go and ended up just being like 7 of us. It was very disappointing. And, they had reminders, but they didn't have the same kind of reminders that I have that I'm going to share with you today. So I want to help you get those RSVPs, the people that sign up and register for your Christmas events. And again, even if you don't have ticketing, right? Just say RSVP, save your spot, help us maintain a head count. This is great for your church as well. This isn't just for first-time guests. This will also get your church excited and make sure that the people that sign up at your church will actually show up. Now, the way I like to do this, let me take a sip here. The way I like to do this is through email. Okay. And before everyone's like, Justin, email, that's so boring. That's so whatever. We've tried that before. Look, I'm going to share with you the emails that we use. I'm going to share with you the way that we send those emails. But also remember that if people don't check your emails, it's because you've trained them to not check your emails. A lot of folks will say, well, people don't read people don't read emails. And the correct answer is people don't read your emails because you're sending what are obvious promotional emails. You're sending what are obvious emails that don't include information that I necessarily care about. If you send an email that says, weekly announcements, I hear those on Sunday. I see those on Sunday. I have them in the bulletin that I put on my fridge. I'm not going to open your email. If you send emails about the kids ministry and I don't have a kid, I'm not going to open those emails. Worst case, if you send too many irrelevant emails, Google's going to start putting you in the spam or promotion folder, and I'm not even going to see them at all. And so one of the things I'm going to share with you as I talk through the emails that we like to send is a way that you can send them to make them extremely valuable. And let me tell you this: people, when you have a job, I'm going to talking to the third graders here. When you have a job and they have important announcements, they don't post them on social media and hope you see them. They don't put them on a bulletin board and hope you walk past and take note of it. Where do the most important announcements come to you from work? Email. People check their email. Not only that, I think the stat is like 90% of people check their email multiple times a day. All right. When I worked at a university, I mean, this was in 2016 and 2019. So 18, 19, even 17-year-olds at that university, when something would break, they would call us or they would email us, right? They know how to use the phone. They know how to use email. They know when something important is coming from the university, they know to check their email. They're not texting their professors. They're not looking at their professor's social media. They are monitoring their email. Email is important. The problem is it's also the most competitive. So I want to make sure that any emails you send related to the Christmas event that you're going to be promoting needs to be incredibly valuable. Also, another thing is these are not emails that go out to the general list. This is specifically for people that have RSVP'd, so you can share with them a little bit more about what to expect. So let's go to the emails. Let me pull up my whiteboard here. I don't know why it's off centered here. That's interesting. Let me try this. Boom. Well, I know why. Here we go. All right. So we're going to send 5 emails. I'm going to interchange emails and messages because you can also do this with a text. The only difference is that with the text, either you have to really condense the message down to 1 or 2 sentences, or you put the content of the email, you make it a web page, like a blog post, and then you text people and say, hey, here's what to expect. Here's what we're excited for. So we're going to do 5 emails. And this is going to be after signing up. So you have their email address. And also, emails are easier to get than a phone number for an RSVP, right? Also, if you do phone number, I think that's fine. You just need to make sure you follow all regulatory practices. People have to know that you're going to text them. There has to be the reply stop to opt out. There has to be an opt-in or whatever. So it can get a little complicated. Email's easier just because there's a little less regulation. There still is regulation. There's still the Can Spam app or whatever it's called. But you want to make sure that you get something from them, okay? So after they RSVP, immediately you send them a confirmation. Okay. Immediately send them a confirmation. And what that does is, number one, it kind of gives them a little dopamine boost because they're like, hey, I did it, right? Hey, thanks so much. Oh, I'm appreciated. Glad you signed up. Okay, so I know I'm signed up. I know I'm RSVP'd. We already cemented a little bit more that this is a commitment that you made. And in that confirmation email, all you have to do is simply point them to your website, right? That landing page website we made last year or last week. You just point them to that website. Plan your visit. Boom. All right. So now they have an email. They can keep it in their inbox if they want, but they can also search it, right? My wife keeps everything. She's got 22,767,300 emails on her phone, unread, the notification bar. The whole bottom of her phone is a red notification of just the number of emails that she has unread. Drives me nuts. What about you? Comment below. Do you make sure that notification button is gone, or do you also have 22 million plus emails? But what she can do is she knows that if she needs to refer back to the email, she can just search Baptist Church or church name, and that will show up the email from 3 weeks ago, buried under a million other emails. So people will sometimes just like keep this stored in their phone because they know they can reference back to it. And then in the email, we also like to say, hey, glad you signed up. We got your spot. We're going to have your gift. Here's the time, address. And if you want more information about exactly what we're doing, click here to go back to the webpage to see more information. Okay. So this can come after they RSVP. If you do a Facebook lead ad, you can just skip the website altogether, but you still should have the webpage to have them to refer back to. Okay. Now, email 2. This is where you have to really consider like the timing of your RSVP. This one might go out, say 2 weeks before. Okay. So T minus T minus 2 weeks. Okay. And this one might be I like to do a behind the scenes. So this could be a video of the pastor. This could be pictures of the decorations that are going up. Just something to tell a story about, hey, we're excited because things are happening here. Picture of Santa Claus getting ready before he comes, maybe a recap of some of the things that you're doing. All of these need to come in as you would type a personal email. If I'm going to type a personal email to a client, or they're going to email me, they're not going to sit there and mark up a newsletter with pretty graphics. No, they're going to literally drag and drop a picture and just type text. That's how these should appear. Number one, it's going to get past Google promotion and spam filtering easier because it looks like a regular email. Number two, they're going to actually read it, because believe it or not, when people load up an email, they're going to look at the format first, the design first. It's one of the first things you do, and they're going to formulate an idea of what's in the email before they actually start reading. So if you make it look like a regular email, they're going to read it like a regular email. If you make it look like a marketing newsletter, they're going to ignore it like a marketing newsletter. So a simple email of just, hey, first name, we're excited to have you here. Here's a picture of the moose or the camel, the nativity scene that's coming in. And by the way, if you have any other questions or whatever, send this to your friends, right? That's all the email is. It doesn't have to be a long drawn out 1,000-word email. Make it simple, behind the scenes. We're excited this is happening. Okay. 1 week before. Okay. Some people are like, let's keep pushing the event. Not yet. What I want to do is share another story or testimony. Okay. Now, when you do this for a general, like, hey, come to church on Sunday, this can be a nice Jesus-y story, testimony. This one can just be a funny story that happened behind the scenes. It can be a story of what happened last year, someone's life that was impacted. If you're doing, there's a church near us that is doing, I don't know what you call it. They have the big Christmas tree, and it has a bunch of names on it with their wish list, and church members can take a card, go buy the present for the child their family can't afford Christmas, bring the present back, and then they distribute the presents to the families. I don't know what you call that. What do you call that? Let me know down in the chat. I don't know what you call it. But if you're doing that, obviously you can share that story of something that your church has done. That's a testimony of what the love of Christ is doing in your community. Share a story of someone that made a life change last Christmas. Someone that, had some family issues going on for Christmas. And they said that the Christmas service was a good distraction from all the things that were going on in their life. And they were rejuvenated and they had hope again. And now the family member, they got better, and now they're all part of the church. Whatever the story is, right? It can be related to Christmas. It could just be something interesting that happened behind the scenes, but share a story. Again, it's like you're writing a letter to a friend, because that's really what disciple making is, right? It's sharing Jesus and walking the path of faith with those to become more like Christ. So, they're dead right now. Maybe they could be a believer, but you're just sharing what God has done, what Christ has done. You're giving thanks, in the email, whatever it is. But you're going to share a testimony, all right? And we can't wait to see what God's doing this year. P.S. Don't forget to, if you have any questions about parking, you can go look at the page. Whatever. Okay. Then you go T minus 1 day. And this is just a reminder, right? Just a reminder email. Hey, reminder, we're expecting 250 people. We only got parking for 300. You might want to get here early. Remember to save the front row for guests. If you're a first-time guest, please park in the front row. We don't want you to walk around, whatever. Follow the signs, whatever it is, right? You can include an image if you want, but this is, just a real basic reminder. And then morning of, you're just going to send another reminder. Hey, don't forget, we got this. The gifts are ready. The camels are fed. I don't know, but whatever it is, send a morning of reminder. You could also, if you're live streaming, you could add a live stream like, hey, we're live now. Okay. Good luck reading that. Let me try that again. You could also send a live now. And that way people that didn't make it, couldn't make it, at least you're telling them, hey, you can worship with us online. That's an option. So a couple of things to remember. Number one, you want these emails to be very normal looking. I don't know how else to say that. You want them to be very authentic. Okay. They should come from the pastor. They really should come from the pastor. If you have the organizational structure where every elder is over a different number of families or however that works, or your overseers, it can come from them. Hey, this is Joe. I saw you signed up for the event. We're excited to have you. I'm going to send you some more information. If you have any questions, by all means, reply back to this email. It goes directly to my inbox. One of the things that we like to do is in the first email, add a PS right here. And we say, hey, by the way, is there anything we can pray for you over? And we do include a little thing that says, P.S. If you have something I can pray with you over, I'd be happy to pray for you. Reply to this email. It comes directly to me. Some people don't want to reply to these because they know it's a shared inbox, or they might think it's a shared inbox. That's going to depend on how your organization is set up. But you can absolutely do, hey, P.S. by the way, let me pray for you. And one of the things that we do, okay, a little funnel, so to speak. Again, it's a guest journey. When they do reply with a prayer request, pastor replies, can I call you? Can I call and pray with you? Okay. So again, we're following a guest journey. So it's like, hey, immediately you're confirmed, you're in, we'd love to have you. Here's some page information. God bless, Pastor Joe. P.S. By the way, while I'm here, is there anything I can pray with you specifically over? This goes directly to my inbox, and I'd love to, pray with you over something if something's bothering you. People reply, yeah, absolutely. Actually, my kids won't listen to me, and I'm just super frustrated with them right now. I don't know what I did wrong. You'll either get like a 5-sentence email reply, or you're going to get a 5-paragraph email reply. There seems to be no in the middle. But then all you have to do is reply back and say, hey, I got it. I'm going to pray for you right now, but can I also call you and we can pray over the phone? What's the best number? And you can either reply that or just say, what's the best number? And they say yes. Then you say, what's your number? Okay, guess what? Now you're talking to each other over on the phone. Remember at the beginning of the show when I said, this is how we get people showing up. And instead of saying, are you new here? They say, oh, there's Pastor Joe. We talked on the phone, right? How great is it when you go somewhere new and it's like, hey, I'm Jim. We talked on the phone a couple of days ago, right? And it's like, hey, I'm Joe. We prayed over the phone. We're connected, right? You could also, if you want, if you have the time, if you're that pastor that likes to do this kind of thing, you could pray with them and say, hey, by the way, can I get you a cup of coffee? Let's talk about your family. Let's talk about, our kids are going to be at the trampoline place this weekend. Why don't you come by? I'll pay for your kids for an hour and let's hang out and let's just talk and get to know each other. This is what it is to be disciple making ahead of the visit. Because all you're doing is, number one, you're reminding people of the commitment that they made. But number two, you're constantly knocking on the door, right? With value. Again, that's the third thing. So number one, make it from the pastor, make it personal. Number two, make it simple. Don't make it a marketing newsletter email, make it a personal email. Even if it's automation, you can still do that. And then number three, make it valuable. This is not, hey, don't forget you signed up for this. Hey, come to this. Don't forget to bring this. No, this is, hey, you're signed up. We got your gift. Okay. Hey, by the way, this is something that we think you'll be interested in. This behind the scenes story that would make you smile. We want to let you know that we're prepared for you. Okay. Testimony. Here's something cool that you might want to know. Here's something cool that will make your day. Okay. And then the reminder, hey, by the way, don't forget, we got parking for you up at the front. We got your gift. It's all valuable. It's all about the guests. All right. And if your church signs up for this and they get the same emails, that's fine. It's going to be just as edifying to them. And they'll know I'm not a first-time guest. I'm not going to park up front, whatever that looks like. Okay. With these emails, you can really nurture people and remind them what they signed up for. So instead of, oh, that was today, it's, oh yeah, that's next week. Oh yeah, that's next Saturday. And maybe they reply back and say, hey, sorry, something came up. We won't be able to make it. I completely understand. We also have our Christmas Eve service. If you can't make it to the Christmas festival, would you be able to come to that? Or can we meet there? Whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, this is opening the door to discipleship relationships. This is not for the purpose of just promoting stuff out there. This is for the purpose of mission of the church, to make disciples. How do you make disciples? You create discipleship relationships. How do you create discipleship relationships? Well, you meet one-on-one. Well, how do you make sure they show up to church one-on-one? This is it. And however many people you got signed up that actually showed up last year, do this, you're going to triple the number on average. Okay. Some of you are going to do more, some of you are going to do less. Really just depends on your area. Quick announcement, and then I'm gonna take off. I think we're gonna do one more episode of the Best Known Church Show. We're going to be replacing the Best Known Church Show in 2025 with a new kind of podcast. And I'm very excited. If you're here to learn, make sure you sign up for our newsletter or just download one of our freebies. Let's do sign up for the newsletter. Go to let me edit this. Go to navachurchmarketing.com/newsletter. This is a direct link. It's not very pretty. There we go. Go to navachurchmarketing.com/newsletter. You can download one of our free resources, but you won't actually get on the newsletter list for a week because we're going to be sending you that resource. We're announcing something pretty cool where a lot of education is going to happen, and it's going to be at a I'm not going to share too much about it because I'm going to do a different video about promoting it. But it's going to be it's going to be a new kind of fellowship. I think the church world, the church communications, church marketing world has a lot of groups. I think they have a lot of great groups. I don't think it needs a new community. I think it needs a new kind of community, more of a fellowship, so to speak, where edification can happen among other church communicators and church marketers and church leaders who just want to make their church known. But it needs to be not just another Facebook group. So if you're tired of posting in a Facebook group and getting a lot of different comments from a lot of different people that don't know anything about your church, and you don't know who to trust, and you're just overwhelmed with all the decisions, and you just want a 1, 2, 3, here's a simple path, here's a proven path, here's what I've done that worked, here's what I did that didn't work, stay tuned. Subscribe to the YouTube, sign up for the newsletter, because I got something very cool coming this week, hopefully tomorrow, which is why I want you on the newsletter now. The other thing is the podcast. Now, the podcast, I think this is good, but again, we've got enough education. We really do have a lot of education. And I was talking to someone earlier, and the kind of person that they were when they were teaching was excellent at a conference. And the kind of person they were after teaching when we got dinner was also excellent. And the thing is, I think we spend so much time teaching in podcasts that we don't need another teaching podcast. I think we need another fellowship podcast. I think we need another, let's not have another conference talk. Let's have an after the conference at the restaurant. You relax, you undo your tie a little bit, and let's just hang out. And we all have a common goal of what our churches should be doing and can do. We all have that in common, but I think we can have a little bit more fun with that. And so I'm going to announce the name of it probably later, closer towards the beginning of the year. But I think I'm going to do one more Best Known Church Show. Just another top 10 questions that we get. There was some good feedback on the last one we did. So I'll do that, answering your most common questions. So comment or leave a comment of your question that you have about marketing your church, and we may do one more episode. I don't know yet because it's December. We're pretty busy. We're launching this new thing, but I want to do one more Best Known Church Show. So thank you guys. Still subscribe to the YouTube because we are still doing daily videos. If not daily, at least 3 times a week. New videos, reviewing software, reviewing books, resources, checking out what other churches are doing to point to the good stuff that we're seeing, as well as, just some of the things to avoid. So God bless you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. Sign up for that newsletter, navachurchmarketing.com/newsletter. I'll put a link down below in the description, and I'll see you all in the next video. God bless.
That's going to do it for today's episode of the Best Known Church Show with Justin Nava. Be sure to subscribe to stay updated on the latest news, strategies, and resources that you need to reach 10x more people and become the best known in your community. To send us a message or leave a voicemail for Justin to be played on a future show, visit thebestknownchurchshow.com. And if you'd like to work with us so you can focus on your ministry, give us a call at 832-861-5600. 7654. Until next time, stay outrageous, unreasonable, and relentless.